Tonight, our special transmission as reports emerge of Israeli soldiers sexually harassing Palestinian women at checkpoints. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Zahra Sayed. Today is the 330th day since Israel started its aggression against Palestinians in response to October 7th attacks. A series of devastating Israeli airstrikes continue across Gaza. Palestinian officials say at least 23 Palestinians have been killed since early morning. The dead include women and children. In southern Gaza, Israeli forces have withdrawn from eastern Khan Yunis after a 22-day operation. The area lies in ruins. The Palestinian Civil Defense reports at least 9 bodies have been recovered from the area. The Israeli military claims to have eliminated over 250 fighters. Palestinian officials say the Israeli army has destroyed water lines in the city. An airstrike has hit a convoy carrying medical supplies and fuel for an Emirati-run hospital in Rafah. The Israeli military defends the strike. It claims the strike targeted armed assailants trying to hijack the convoy. The supplies were arranged by the U.S. charity Anera. In the West Bank, fierce assaults continue in Jenin for the third consecutive day. The United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees has suspended their services in several camps in the West Bank due to continuous Israeli attacks. At least 40,602 people have been killed in the past 10 months. 93,855 have been injured. A report in the British journal The Lancet estimates Palestinian deaths could be around 186,000. Israel faces accusations of genocide at the International Court of Justice. The court has ordered Israel to halt its military operations in Rafah. Israel and Hamas have agreed to a series of 3-day truce zones in Gaza to facilitate a crucial polio vaccination campaign. Starting Sunday, the campaign will target around 640,000 children across central, southern, and northern Gaza. Each zone will see a temporary halt in hostilities to ensure safe vaccination. The news comes after the World Health Organization confirmed a recent polio case in Gaza. This is the first in 25 years. Israel's military is set to put dozens of soldiers on trial for refusing orders to return to the Gaza Strip. The crackdown follows a surge in dissent. At least 20 soldiers have reportedly refused to deploy back to Gaza. The Israeli public broadcaster Kan reveals 10 of these soldiers have received official warnings. The military is threatening them with legal action if they continue to refuse. Families of the dissenting soldiers say their loved ones are pressured to go back or face imprisonment. A new poll reveals a significant shift in Muslim American voting preferences. Muslim voters are sharply divided between third-party candidate Jill Stein and Vice President Kamala Harris. The survey has been released by the Council on American-Islamic Relations. It shows 29% of Muslim voters are leaning towards Stein. Stein advocates for an end to the war in Gaza. Another 29% favor Harris. This is a 40% drop in Democratic support from previous years. A poll by the Council on American-Islamic Relations in 2020 showed 69% of Muslims voted for Joe Biden in the previous election. The decline reflects dissatisfaction with the Biden administration's stance on Gaza. Amnesty International is calling on the European Union to respect the advisory opinion by the International Court of Justice on Israeli occupation of Palestinian territories. The human rights group has urged the EU to halt all trades and arms supplies to Israel. It says such actions violate international law. Amnesty's director Eve Getty condemns Israel's settlement policies and discriminatory practices. The global human rights group labels them as illegal. It is demanding that the EU impose an immediate arms embargo and a trade ban on Israeli settlements. A young Palestinian woman has been subject to sexual harassment in the West Bank. Israeli newspaper Haaretz reports a soldier exposed himself to the young woman on August 17th. He then made disturbing comments. The woman was crossing a checkpoint in Hebron. This incident was reported to local leader Bassam Abu Aisha. Further complaints from other women facing similar harassment have also emerged. Victims allege unwanted phone searches and degrading comments about their appearances. One young woman says an Israeli soldier took photos of her and her sister when they were crossing the same checkpoint. Victims say they have been subject to verbal abuse as well. In some cases, women were told to remove their hijabs. They say they are fearful of passing through checkpoints. The Israeli forces say they are investigating the incidents. A United Nations report from June highlights systemic sexual violence against Palestinian women by Israeli forces. It reveals a pattern of abuse aimed at humiliating and controlling Palestinian civilians. San Francisco State University has cut ties from 4 major weapons manufacturers linked to Israel's war on Gaza. The move is being hailed as a significant win for Palestinian rights advocates. It targets Palantir Technologies, Lockheed Martin, Leonardo, and Caterpillar. All these firms are accused of profiting from the conflict. The action follows a nationwide push urging universities to sever ties with companies involved in the occupation of Palestinian territories. Activists celebrate the university's new investment policy as a bold stand for human rights. A 26-year-old Palestinian man was discovered dead in Belgium with his hands and feet bound. The body was found last Wednesday by a passerby. Reports show at the time the body had been there for over 24 hours. Initial speculation suggests murder. However, authorities say that suicide cannot be ruled out. The victim has been identified as a Palestinian asylum seeker. Investigators say no criminal intent or third-party involvement has been confirmed. The autopsy has failed to determine the exact cause of death. The local public prosecutor's office says investigation is ongoing, with all possibilities being explored. Sweden has charged 3 men with inciting ethnic hatred over protests involving Quran burnings. Amongst the charge are right-wing protester Rasmus Paludan, Salwan Momika, and Salwan Najim. All 3 face up to 2 years in prison. The charges stem from incidents from the last 2 years. The protesters burned copies of the Quran outside mosques. Their actions sparked international outrage and protests. Senior prosecutor Anna Hankio says the men's actions show contempt for Muslims. The cases have strained Sweden's relations with Middle Eastern countries and raised security concerns. The Swedish government condemns the desecrations while upholding freedom of speech laws. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News Canada. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you news that you can trust. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment on what you thought of today's coverage. Thank you. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum.